Money is not what you think it is. It's not just paper, not metal. Money is a spirit in disguise. It listens, it responds, and it reflects what lives within you. Every thought you hold about money has life. When you see it as distant, it stays far. When you see it as a friend, it draws near. Money takes the shape of your belief. It is not chasing you, it is mirroring you. The moment you understand this, something begins to shift inside. You stop begging. You stop worrying. You stop looking at your empty wallet with fear and start seeing it with faith. You realize that your imagination is the birthplace of all wealth. It was never about earning harder, but believing deeper. Look closely, and you'll see the pattern. Every person who has ever risen from nothing carried one thing that couldn't be seen: conviction. They believed something greater was already theirs before it showed up in form. The outer world had no choice but to agree, because the invisible law is simple. Spirit moves first, matter follows. You might say, "But I don't see any money." And I would ask, what do you see within? Because life does not give what you want, it gives what you are. Money does not answer to your need, it answers to your recognition. You cannot attract what you secretly reject. You cannot invite what you unconsciously fear. There is a story, a man standing before thousands with only a few loaves and fishes. Logic said, it's not enough. But he did not see lack. He looked up, gave thanks, and broke what he had. He saw abundance in the invisible. And what happened next was no miracle of chance. It was the revelation of law, gratitude, and vision, command substance. He didn't multiply the loaves. He multiplied his awareness, and the material obeyed. That same law lives in you. When you bless what you have, you give it permission to grow. When you curse it with worry, you freeze its flow. Money does not respond to effort. It responds to energy. When you think of it as spirit, you treat it differently. You speak to it differently. You stop saying, "I can't afford that." You start saying, "I am being guided to what is already mine." That shift changes everything. If you want money to obey, stop commanding it with fear. Spirit only moves through faith. When your heart trembles, your command is weak. But when your heart rests in certainty, the whole universe rearranges to prove you right. Because belief is creative. Every thought impregnated with feeling becomes a seed in the unseen. When you walk into a room full of people who think they are poor, the air feels heavy. Their talk is about prices, debts, and limitations. They are unknowingly worshiping the idol of lack. But the one who knows that money is spirit sees through the illusion. They may have nothing in their hands, yet abundance surrounds them like air. They live as though it is already done. Do you remember the story of the coin in the fish's mouth? When the question of money came, there was no panic. There was calm instruction. Go to the sea, cast a hook, and take the first fish you catch. In its mouth will be the coin. What a strange command, isn't it? But it reveals something profound. The source of supply is never where you expect it. The moment you believe, the sea of life responds and brings what you need from directions you cannot predict. When you live from faith, the natural world obeys. The supernatural law, the unseen, becomes seen. Money shows up in mysterious ways because it was never lost. It was only waiting for permission to appear. The coin was already there. Belief was the key that unlocked it. If money is spirit, then how do you command it? You do not beg spirit. You align with it. You quiet the noise of fear and speak the language it understands. Gratitude, certainty, imagination. Close your eyes and see yourself already living in abundance. Don't look for the way, see the result, and persist in that vision until it becomes more real than what your eyes show you. Every time you imagine yourself wealthy and at peace, you're not daydreaming. You are giving form to spirit. You are sending a signal that says, this is who I am. And life must echo that truth. The moment you accept it as done, it is done in the unseen. And soon the outer must conform. Think of a seed planted in the soil. You do not dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust the unseen work. You water it, you keep the ground in peace, and you let time do its perfect work. That's how money grows in your life. Not by strain, but by faith. Every time you doubt, you uproot your seed. Every time you affirm, you strengthen its roots. There are those who say, money is evil. But what is money except the reflection of your consciousness? If you are pure, it multiplies goodness. If you are fearful, it multiplies worry. The same fire that warms the home can burn the house if not understood. So bless money. See it as divine energy clothed in form. It is the spirit of freedom, the evidence of creative power flowing through you. When you honor money, it honors you. When you love it rightly, not with greed, but with gratitude, it responds with generosity. It begins to flow, and the more you give thanks for it, the more it grows. You were never meant to chase it. You were meant to command it with consciousness. Your thought is the true currency of heaven. Remember the words spoken long ago. Seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. What is the kingdom? It is the inner state of knowing that all supply begins within. When you dwell there, everything outward begins to align. You won't have to fight for prosperity. It will be drawn to you by the magnet of your faith. Money will come because it recognizes its master. And the master is the one who sees beyond appearances. The one who knows that even when the purse is empty, the spirit is full. The one who walks in calm assurance saying, my supply is invisible, but it is real. That person never lacks. So stop saying, one day I'll be rich. That is postponing the miracle. Say instead, I am rich now because the spirit of abundance lives within me. Live from that feeling. Talk from that feeling. Move through your day as one who already possesses it. Because you do. You are not trying to get money. You are revealing it. Like a sculptor removing stone to expose the statue already within, your belief removes the layers of doubt that hide your wealth. Spirit has already finished its work. All that's left is your recognition. And when you finally see it, when your heart accepts that money is not separate from the divine life in you, everything changes. Bills are paid effortlessly. Opportunities come uninvited. Ideas pour in at the perfect time. Doors open where there were only walls, because the outer world must bend to the inner conviction of faith. So take a moment now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper softly, money is spirit. It lives within me. I am one with infinite supply. Say it not as a wish, but as a truth. Feel the peace that comes when you stop chasing and start allowing. Let that peace guide you. Let gratitude be your atmosphere. And as you move through this world, remember, the invisible governs the visible. Spirit governs matter. And when you align with that truth, even money becomes your obedient servant. It will go where you send it. It will return multiplied. It will serve your vision, because money, in its purest essence, is not material at all. It is divine energy, wearing the disguise of form. And once you learn to see it that way, you'll never fear it again. You'll walk differently. You'll talk differently. You'll look at your circumstances and no longer say, this is my limit. Instead, you'll smile quietly, knowing that spirit is already working behind the scenes. Money becomes light, not heavy. It begins to flow because you've stopped blocking it with doubt. You'll start noticing small signs first. An unexpected discount, a sudden gift, a creative idea that turns into income. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. They're proof that the invisible has started to take shape. And if you stay in faith, these small streams grow into rivers. You'll find yourself doing less but receiving more, because now your effort is aligned with belief. The energy of ease begins to replace the energy of struggle. There will be moments when old fears return, whispering that you're dreaming too big or that it's too late. When that happens, remind yourself, fear is only faith inverted. It's believing in the wrong outcome. Turn it around by remembering who you are. The Creator within you doesn't know lack. It only knows abundance. The divine spirit within you does not measure by your past. It measures by your consciousness now. So each time fear rises, breathe and bless it. Thank it for reminding you to return to truth. Then, with love and calmness, declare, I live in abundance now. Speak it until the feeling settles deep inside, because feeling is the secret. Words alone mean nothing without the vibration of belief. The moment your feeling aligns with the truth of abundance, money must obey. It has no will of its own. It is directed by consciousness. If you want more, give more. Not just in money, but in love, kindness, time, and faith. Whatever you send out returns magnified. When you bless others' success, you multiply your own. When you celebrate another's gain, you tell the universe that wealth is safe in your hands. That attitude invites greater flow. You might wonder why some people seem to attract money so easily. It's because they see it as natural. They don't question whether they deserve it. They simply assume they do. That assumption is powerful. It's a quiet conviction that life supports them. And because the world is only a mirror, It reflects their belief back in visible form. You can begin practicing this now. Each morning, as you wake, take a moment to imagine your day flowing with abundance. See yourself paying bills with ease, smiling as you give, feeling gratitude as money circulates freely. Throughout the day, treat every exchange, buying food, paying for gas, receiving change, as sacred. See it as spirit moving through form. That simple shift turns ordinary transactions into acts of divine circulation. Even in times of apparent lack, hold steady. Don't speak words of desperation. Speak words of creation. Say, something wonderful is unfolding for me now. Say it even when nothing visible has changed, because what you decree with faith must take root in the unseen, and the unseen is always faster, truer, and more powerful than the visible. Life has no resistance to a mind that knows what it is. When you truly understand that you and the source of all wealth are not separate, you stop asking how it will come. You stop worrying when it will come. You rest in the knowing that it already has. From that stillness, ideas flow, inspiration moves, and doors open effortlessly. You may find yourself guided to take actions that seem small. A call, a message, a new idea. Follow them. They are the invisible moving into motion. Every inspired step you take is the bridge between thought and manifestation. Do it with joy, not fear. Because when action flows from faith, it always multiplies. Think of it this way. Money is like breath. When you exhale, you never doubt there will be another inhale. You trust the rhythm. In the same way, let money flow out and in freely. Don't clutch it in fear. Don't waste it carelessly. Handle it with reverence as divine energy that moves through you to bless the world. And when you give with love, because what you give in love cannot leave you. It circles back multiplied. Each gift, each act of generosity becomes a seed of increase. You are never diminished by giving. You are expanded by it. You prove to yourself that abundance is infinite. Money will never define your worth. It reveals your awareness. When you see it as spirit, it loses its power to control you. You become the master. You start using it as an instrument of creation, not as a symbol of survival. You realize that every dollar is energy, neutral until you give it meaning. So give it a meaning of love, joy, freedom, and purpose. Then watch how it multiplies under that vibration. As you grow in this understanding, people will feel the peace around you. They'll ask how you stay so calm in uncertainty. And you'll smile because you know the truth. Abundance was never outside. It was within all along, waiting for your recognition. You are not waiting for money to appear. Money is waiting for you to awaken. It has always been ready to serve, but it responds only to command. The command of faith, not fear. You are the voice it listens to, the consciousness it obeys. You are the vessel through which the spirit of prosperity reveals itself to the world. And when you finally see money as divine energy wearing a mask of form, you'll never chase it again. You'll simply call it, and it will come. You'll begin to notice that opportunities show up in the most unexpected ways. A casual conversation becomes a doorway, a simple idea turns into profit, and a chance meeting can change your life. All because you've aligned your inner state with the abundance that was always waiting. The universe does not withhold, it only waits for your recognition. And when you acknowledge it, everything shifts as if by magic. You may feel resistance at first. Old habits, old doubts, old voices saying, it's not possible. Do not fight them, do not curse them, simply watch them, smile, and return to the feeling of what is true. Because consciousness is like water. It flows where you focus it. Point it at fear and you drown in limitation. Point it at abundance and the world rearranges to match your focus. Every bill you pay, every investment you make, every transaction becomes an affirmation. You are speaking the language of spirit through form. Your purse is not empty. It is a vessel waiting to be filled. Every coin, every note is a messenger of your belief. Treat it as sacred and it will carry your intention like a faithful servant. Notice how you speak about money. Do you say, I can't, or do you say, I will? The words you use are prayers in disguise. They set the tone of your reality. Choose them carefully. Speak as one who already possesses, and the world must reflect it.
You might wonder about timing. When will abundance arrive? It does not follow human schedules. It responds to the timing, your consciousness.
The moment you are ready, it appears. The moment you stop worrying and start believing, the flow begins. You cannot force it, but you can allow it. You cannot chase it, but you can command it. The power is simple. Imagine, believe, feel, and persist. See yourself living with ease, paying with joy, giving freely and receiving graciously. Feel the gratitude as if it is already true. Do this daily, not once, not occasionally, but as a steady practice. And watch how life bends to this inner law. Every time doubt arises, let it remind you to return to faith. Every time lack whispers, let it guide you back to vision, because your inner world is the soil in which abundance grows. Keep it fertile with expectation, water it with belief, and shield it from fear. The harvest is inevitable. You'll notice that as your consciousness shifts, money flows effortlessly. You no longer struggle or beg. You simply act in alignment. Ideas, people, and circumstances move toward you as if drawn by an invisible magnet. You are the conductor, and the energy of prosperity obeys your signal. Money is not your master. You are its master. It listens to your inner state, not your complaints. It cannot help but reflect what you truly believe. If you feel worthy, it flows. If you feel undeserving, it pauses. There is no judgment in spirit, only reflection. So train your mind, feed it images of abundance, fill it with feelings of wealth, not worry. Speak with faith, not fear. Move with confidence, not hesitation. And every step you take becomes a declaration. I am abundant, I am worthy, I am guided. Even when the world seems dry, remember that underground rivers run unseen. Your faith is the channel through which these rivers reach you. Keep the channel clear with gratitude, imagination, and unwavering belief. Then one day the surface will swell, and you will see the manifestation of what was always present beneath. You are not learning to get money, you are learning to reveal it. It exists already, waiting for recognition. Your imagination is the key, your faith is the door, and your feeling is the welcome mat. Step into this truth, and the world cannot deny it. Each morning, breathe deeply, close your eyes, and see yourself abundant. Feel it in your body, in your heart, in every cell. Hold that feeling throughout the day. Treat every moment as a chance to reinforce your inner command. Speak, act, and move as one who already possesses what the world calls money. You'll begin to notice subtle shifts first. A call, a text, an opportunity. Then bigger shifts. An unexpected payment, a new client, a chance investment, and then it will feel as though the world itself bends to your knowing, because it does. The world is nothing but a mirror of your consciousness. Do not be fooled by appearances. An empty account does not mean an empty life. Fear does not mean reality. Spirit is always present, always active, always waiting for your recognition. When you see through the mask, you step into mastery. And mastery is the secret that has always been shown. Money responds to faith, not force, so practice imagining, believing, feeling, and persisting. Your inner world will shape your outer world. The invisible will become visible. Spirit will take form, and what you once thought impossible will simply appear because you commanded it with certainty, love, and faith. As you continue to live this way, you'll begin to notice that your perception of value shifts. You'll no longer measure wealth by numbers on a screen or coins in a jar. You'll measure it by energy, by flow, by the ease with which life responds to your inner state. Every opportunity, every resource, every connection becomes part of the abundance that is your natural inheritance. You may encounter people who doubt, who complain, who cling to scarcity. Do not argue with them. Do not attempt to convince them. Their world reflects their consciousness, not yours. You are learning to live in a higher frequency. You are learning to let the invisible guide the visible. Their doubts cannot touch your certainty. Their fear cannot touch your faith. Notice the small miracles that appear when you act from alignment. A chance conversation that leads to a contract. A problem that resolves itself effortlessly. A gift that arrives when you least expect it. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the spirit of money moves when you recognize its presence. The key is persistence. Not persistence in struggle, but persistence in vision. Keep seeing, keep feeling, keep declaring the reality that is already yours. Do not waver when the world seems slow to respond. The universe works in perfect timing. What appears delayed is simply preparing to appear multiplied. Each day, remind yourself that the source of abundance is not outside of you. It flows through you. It moves in harmony with your inner conviction. When your thoughts, words, and feelings are in alignment, life cannot resist. It must conform. The outer world is only an echo of the inner state. You will notice a natural increase in creativity. Ideas for business, for investments, for ways to serve others will come effortlessly. Opportunities that once seemed hidden will become visible. Money is attracted to inspired action, not forced effort. When you move with joy, clarity, with faith, it rushes toward you like a river to the sea. Even in times of apparent struggle, maintain the inner vision. See the abundance behind the circumstances. See the invisible supply at work. Say, I am aware of my wealth. I am in command of my prosperity. I am open to all the good the universe has prepared for me. These words, when felt deeply, become seeds in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Notice how your relationship with giving transforms. You give not out of obligation, but out of joy. You give knowing that the law of return is infinite. Every act of generosity becomes a signal to spirit that abundance is welcome, that it is safe, and that it is already here. Giving expands your sense of wealth. It multiplies your resources in ways you cannot yet calculate. You'll find that money begins to flow from unexpected directions. Old debts resolve themselves. Unexpected clients appear. Opportunities knock at the right moment. The universe conspires to bring your inner vision into form because it responds only to certainty, not panic. As you move through life, pay attention to the language you use. Every word about money carries energy. Say, I am rich in all ways, rather than I have nothing. Say, abundance flows to me effortlessly, rather than I hope I get enough. Language shapes perception, and perception shapes reality. Remember the unseen law. Spirit precedes form. You cannot command what you do not feel, but once the feeling is real, form must obey. Your imagination is the workshop. Your belief is the instruction. Your feeling is the engine. Act as though abundance is already yours, and life will reflect your assumption. You may also notice that your patience strengthens. You understand that time is not your enemy. You trust the unseen processes, knowing that what is prepared for you cannot be delayed. The struggle to force results diminishes, replaced by calm confidence. Every step is deliberate, inspired, and aligned. Your relationship with wealth deepens into understanding. You no longer fear scarcity. You no longer worship money. You recognize it as energy, as spirit, as a tool to express the creativity and abundance within you. Money flows to where it is acknowledged, welcomed, and commanded with love. As you live in this consciousness, you'll find that the world itself begins to shift. Walls that once seemed solid dissolve. Obstacles become opportunities. Every difficulty becomes a signal to return to inner faith. The more you trust, the more the universe responds. And the more you act from this trust, the more effortless life becomes. Even the smallest moments, paying for groceries, receiving a paycheck, lending a hand, become sacred opportunities to practice the law of abundance. Each interaction with money is a chance to reinforce your inner command. Treat it with reverence, with gratitude, with awareness, and you'll see the flow increase. You'll begin to understand that wealth is not limited to money alone. It includes ideas, relationships, opportunities, and experiences. All of these are forms of the same spirit, and all obey the same law. The more you recognize the abundance inherent in life, the more it manifests outwardly in every area. When you act from this understanding, you step into a new level of power. You no longer chase, no longer worry, no longer plead. You simply align, declare, and allow. Your inner world becomes the command center, and the outer world becomes its faithful reflection. The flow of money becomes effortless because you are no longer resisting its nature. You understand that it is a spirit, a current of life, an expression of divine energy. It answers to your feeling, to your recognition, to your consciousness. Command it wisely, command it with love, and it will serve your life in ways that exceed imagination. You will see doors open that you never knew existed. You will experience help when you least expect it. You will find resources appearing exactly you need them. Because money, like all spirit, is certainty, not fear. And as you continue to deepen your understanding, you'll notice that life itself begins to feel lighter. You move through it with ease, with joy, with a quiet, knowing that all is in divine order. Money is no longer a struggle. It is a reflection of your inner harmony. You live in abundance, not because of circumstance, but because of consciousness. Your imagination becomes the architect of your reality. Every thought, every vision, every feeling shapes the material world. Money is simply a faithful servant responding to the inner state of your heart. The more you dwell in faith, the more it obeys. The more you trust the invisible, the more the visible conform. You begin to understand that true wealth is the inner mastery of consciousness. The outer world must yield to the inner world. Money flows not because of effort alone, but because of alignment, awareness, and unwavering belief. And once this principle is fully realized, you can never look at money the same way again. It becomes less about acquisition and more about expression, less about struggle and more about flow, less about fear and more about joy. You see it as a current of life, a manifestation of spirit, a tool to express your divine creativity. Every day as you practice this, your command strengthens, your vision sharpens, your faith deepens. And the more you live in this state, the more effortless and abundant your life becomes. The spirit of money is always present. It is always responding. It is always ready to serve. Your role is to awaken, to recognize, to command, and to feel. When you do, you find that nothing in the outer world can resist the inner truth of abundance. It is waiting for you to speak its language. It is waiting for your recognition. It is waiting for your faith. And when you meet it with love, certainty, and vision, it moves as swiftly and as surely as the sun rises each morning. The world will present challenges, yes, but they are merely invitations to deepen your inner awareness. The more you rise above fear, the more money moves through you effortlessly. The more you trust, the more the invisible becomes visible. The more you align with spirit, the more life conforms to your command. You begin to see that all along, money was never separate from you. It was never outside your reach. It was waiting for your recognition, for your command, for your belief. And the moment you acknowledge it as spirit, the moment you feel it as abundance, the moment you trust it fully, it flows easily, naturally, divinely. It is always ready. It is always present. It is always listening. And when you command it with love, faith, and certainty, it responds without hesitation, bringing into form the invisible wealth that has always been yours to command. So now you see the truth. Money is not a thing to chase, hoard, or fear. It is a spirit, a divine energy, waiting to flow through you, obeying the command of your belief and the feeling in your heart. When you stop begging and start recognizing, when you stop doubting and start feeling, the invisible law moves to manifest your abundance. Remember, it is not effort that creates wealth, but alignment. It is not struggle that summons money, but faith. It is not what you see outside that matters, but what you hold inside. Your imagination, your feeling, your unwavering certainty. These are the tools through which spirit takes form. You are not powerless. You are the master of the currents of life. Every thought, every word, every feeling is a command that shapes the reality around you. And when you live from this knowing, fear dissolves, limitation disappears, and abundance becomes your natural state. So speak as if it is done. Feel as if it is already here. Walk as if you have always possessed it, because the universe does not lie. It reflects exactly what you believe, what you feel, and what you command. Open your heart, trust the unseen, and allow the spirit of money to serve your life fully. Abundance is not a dream, it's your birthright. And when you recognize it, command it, and embody it, the world will bow to the certainty of your faith. Your wealth, your freedom, your prosperity, all are waiting for your recognition. Claim it now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. And watch as the invisible becomes visible, as spirit wears the form you have imagined, and as your life transforms in ways you have only dreamed. You are ready, you are worthy, you are abundant, and the spirit of money, long disguised, is ready to serve you, exactly as you command.